Please be seated.
Baba yetu yetulie, mjina lako litukuzwe.
Baba yetu yetulie, mbinguni yetu yetu, amina. Baba yetu yetulie, mjina lako litukuzwe.
Utupe leo chakula chetu, tunachohitaji utusamehe makosa yetu, kama nasi tunavyowasamehe waliotukosea, usitutie katika majaribu, lakini tuokoe na yule mwovu milele. Baba yetu yetulie, mbinguni yetu yetu, amina.
Baba yetu yetulie, jina lako litukuzwe.
Baba yetu yetulie, mbinguni yetu yetu, amina.
Baba yetu yetulie, jina lako litukuzwe. Amina. Baba yetu yetulie, jina lako litukuzwe.
Before we begin, the senior parents have a message for their children.
Yourself.
Thank you, parents, for setting the tone. Seniors, parents, grandparents, and friends, welcome to Midland's 83rd graduation. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, we're glad you're here too. I am pleased, very pleased, to introduce today's graduation speaker, Jose Juan Ibarra, class of 1987, current faculty member and father of Deyanira, class of 216, and Zoraida, and husband to Arcelia. Jose Juan arrived in Los Olivos from Mexico in 1978 at the age of 11 and attended the Los Olivos Elementary School before enrolling at Midland in 1983. After graduating in 1987, he attended UCSB, where he received a BA in Environmental Studies and Chicano Studies. In 2009, he earned an MA in Spanish from UCSB. Upon receiving his undergraduate degree, Jose Juan became an advocate for low-income youth. He was hired by the city of Santa Barbara as a teen activities coordinator to direct 5 recreational and educational after-school programs. He also worked part-time as a social worker through the Santa Barbara Family Services Agency. He connected individuals and families with service providers, transition services, and mediation. He also served as an advocate for immigrant families and teenagers who were wards of the state. In 1996, Jose Juan was hired by Midland's head of school, Dan Kunkel, to teach Spanish, coach soccer, and to be an advisor. Over the years, he served as chair of the Spanish department, as well as a mentor and friend to many Midland students and parents. He's cut and split countless cords of firewood for faculty members to burn during the winter months each year. Jose Juan he's presented at the National Association of Independent Schools Call to Action Conference, served as a faculty member and affinity group facilitator at the Summer Diversity Institute, and each December he takes Midland students to the annual NAIS People of Color and Student Diversity Conference. Jose Juan worked with students to create Midland's first community service club called Common Ground. He led the junior class trip to Mexico for 10 years and still continues to host students from Escoda on campus each winter. For 5 years, he established a relationship with an orphanage in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. For 5 years, he traveled there, faculty members, and advanced Spanish students in order to volunteer labor and improve the facility. Currently, he enjoys taking students to Mexico during school breaks. For 20 years, Jose Juan has been instrumental in bringing issues of social justice and equality before the school and for initiating and instituting Midland's annual Martin Luther King Day celebration. It's my pleasure. Please join me in welcoming Jose Juan.
Thank you. Thank you for that very nice introduction. Greetings, parents, family members, friends, students, and trustees. It is with great honor and humility that I take this opportunity to speak on this very important day. Although we are gathered here to honor and celebrate class of 2016, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Will and Marguerite Graham for all they've done over the last 10 years. Because of you, Midland's tenets and core values are as clear and as tangible as they were 84 years ago. Thank you for making Midland a place where we all want to be. How to best describe this place in a few words? Midland is a setting where distinct individuals convene and undergo an incredibly amazing life-defining experience. A place where they learn to work together as one. A community where everyone is important. When I first arrived to Midland as a freshman, I lacked confidence. My English was rudimentary, and I did not feel academically prepared. Still, my teachers invested themselves in me, They saw my potential and wanted me to succeed. I, in turn, worked very hard at all aspects of the program. Despite the difficulty, I kept myself positive and motivated. Midland lifestyle demands were easy for me. I was in my element. As I lived most of my childhood in a rural context, we lived off the grid and sustained ourselves by producing our own food. At an early age, I had chores and was given adult-like responsibilities. As you might imagine, the Midland work program was a breeze for me. When I was able to here, I was able to define and to embrace my identity as a Mexicano young man in a predominantly white community. I must be honest, this was not easy. By the end of my sophomore year, people accepted me for who I was. As a result, I felt a stronger sense of place. This affirmation was empowering, and soon after, everything clicked for me. I became more confident, actively engaged, and in turn, more productive. By my senior year, I was a strong leader, an accomplished athlete, a team captain, and was given the privilege to be sophomore boys prefect. Like all of you, I was molded by Midland's model. Now, I consider myself a true homegrown Midlander. On Saturday, May 30th, 1987, at 12 o'clock noon, 29 years ago, I was sitting right here. I'm sorry to say I do not remember the speech given by one of my classmates' parents, and I'm sure you will not remember mine. So just listen and enjoy the moment. I remember feeling anxious, nervous, scared, excited, and proud. The moment I dreaded was upon me. I was about to leave the place that shaped me into a reliable and responsible leader and transform me into a caring community member. I was about to say farewell to the people who cared for me and empowered me, my teachers and peers who reminded me that I was important and that I would succeed. I remember sitting here, looking into the audience, watching my parents, my brothers and sisters, my classmates' parents, eyes glimmering with tears of happiness and pride, looking at us as if we were going to fly away right before their eyes. This was the moment. I did not fear going into the real world, nor was I apprehensive about starting a new chapter in my life. After all, Midland had prepared me for life's challenges. I felt ready. From the moment we arrive as students, we are tested by self-reliance. We are challenged by ethical and moral responsibility. We are taught to think of others before we think of ourselves, to move from me to the we. We are asked to live our education, to do it ourselves. We are expected to become stewards of the earth and are inspired to leave a place better than we found it. As young Midlanders, we incorporate these quickly into our daily life. Living by these guiding principles and interacting with one another, students, staff, and faculty alike, we see the immediate impact. We appreciate and value all that we have and do. Students, as you sit here before the most important people in your life, groomed and ready to take on the future, I have a few questions I would like for you to consider. So, what does leave a place better than you found it mean to you as you graduate today? How are you leaving Midland better than you found it? What does this really mean? Has Midland left you better? I realize that these questions are complex, and I'm not actually asking you to answer them right now. I do, however, want to help you individually and collectively with answering one of these questions. How are you leaving Midland better than you found it? To begin, all of you come from various places and from different walks of life. India, Korea, Mexico, Colorado, Texas, Mammoth, Half Moon Bay, San Diego, Upland, Los Angeles, Venice Beach, Ojai, Santa Barbara, Goleta, Painted Cave, Lompoc, Los Olivos, and from right here, Midland School. Each one of you came to Midland for different reasons: to get away from the cliques and the social pressures of large public schools, to find yourself, to live close to nature, to have a dog and carry a knife in your pocket while going to school, to learn how to grow your own food, to be part of small classes, to move away from home because you needed change, because homeschooling was no longer enough for you, to continue your legacy. Maybe some of you came to Midland for the glamour of chopping wood and making shower fires. Perhaps you simply saw Midland as a safe place where you could connect with yourself and with others. Whatever the reason was, I believe that you came to Midland because you wanted to live differently than how society expects. Because you saw the importance of living intentionally, and you want to make a difference. In the last 2, 3, or 4 years, you have been challenged, you have been broken down and overwhelmed, just as I was. And just as I was, you have been empowered and reaffirmed. You now know how to lead, to problem solve. You have learned to be resilient. You have seen the benefits of living simply and understand the meaning of self-reliance. Midland has molded you, and you walk with confidence. Together, you live up to Midland's mission and philosophy. You have enriched the entire Midland community with your distinct ethnic diversity, with your unique personalities and perspectives, with your refined artistic skills and passion for the arts, with your musical and singing talents, with your original sense of humor and style, and dorky laughs, with your inquisitive mind and the desire to know what is on the other side. You know how to have fun. You have improved Midland with your strong sense of self, with your confidence and leadership, with your athleticism, with your intellectual curiosity and scholarly habits, with your sense of integrity, with your willingness to uphold high standards for yourselves and for others, with being excellent role models. Your senior gift, the reconstruction and beautification of the fire pit behind the Art Guild, makes Midland better. The Midland faculty, staff, values who you are and what you have accomplished. You have given us a lot of material to work with. You challenged us and kept us on our toes daily. Your dedication to your academics and extracurricular activities, along with your commitment to the younger students, was impeccable. You have also made us better. As a parent, I venture to say that each one of you has made your parents better in more ways than one. I also bet you have made them look better, too. I know that Deyanira has made Arcelia and me better, not only as parents, but as people. She makes us look better, too. As many parents do, all we want is for our children to gain a strong sense of who they are and that they connect with the things they are most passionate about. And of course, that they lead a healthy and responsible life. All of you fill these wishes with ease. You make all of us proud. I challenge you to carry with you the questions I posed earlier as you transition into your next stage in life as college students. What does leave a place better than you found it mean? How are you leaving Midland better than you found it? Has Midland left you better? Know that the answers to these questions offer everything you need for succeeding in years to come. When things get challenging, and they will, remember to replenish your strength by drawing on all that you have gained from your Midland experience. Reach for a hand and give a hand as necessary. Stay connected to this place as you have left roots here that will forever give you strength. You are ready, more so than I was 29 years ago. Midland gave me the strength to endure challenges and to self-advocate, and you also carry these gifts. The entire Midland community, the faculty, and I will always cherish the experiences we shared together. Enhorabuena. Congratulations.
We'll now hear from junior class speaker Bernd Engerbretson. Bernd.
Good afternoon. I spent the last few weeks surfing the internet, trying to figure out what makes a good graduation speech. And I've concluded that, like myself, the internet has no idea what it's doing. But nonetheless, here I am. When I arrived here as a misguided, stubby, and obdurate freshman, I was not, as Mr. Graham puts it, right where I wanted to be. I meandered through my first days as a student, and it struck me that everyone filled a niche in this greater invisible system that I was oblivious to. There existed, without my knowledge, a scheme to mold individuals into a community that I was not yet ready to be a part of. After a few weeks of immersion in the system, I realized that despite my pig-headed lone wolf attitude, I truly wanted to find my place. This led me to a very conflicted relationship with the Midlands community. One part of me strived to pave my own path, to be my own person, and disregarded the authority. The other part, and possibly the smarter part, recognized my innately human desire to belong. The two ideas seemed mutually exclusive, and I was stuck in the middle with an impossible decision to make. In front of me sits this year's graduating senior class. In front of me sits a group of unique individuals who have led the community that is Midland School for the past year. In front of me sits the contradiction to my preconceived notion that individuality is lost in community. These were the people that forced me to compromise my own personal needs with the needs of the community. And anyone will tell you, I really don't like to compromise. The things they did to bring me into this community are not specific. There was no aha moment that changed my outlook on this school and its function. Simply put, the class's presence as it grew from sophomores to seniors has been a quiet and steady representation of what it means to be part of this integrated system. Even when struggling through college applications or a rough day of classes, the seniors have always appeared so strong and so stable. Their ability to work together, to change both uniformly and separately, and to engage with and solve complex problems is inexplicable. The seniors are a remarkable class by anyone's standards. They have accomplished many amazing things. This year's senior gift is a perfect example. The class worked together, blending each individual's talents to produce an outcome worth gawking over. By working in and for the community, they were able to create something bigger than any individual. But now, I am faced with yet another decision between individuality and community. This is, by all means, a day for the individuals. But each individual is part of a community that is built to last. It would be insightful of me to give you a student's perspective of each of the seniors sitting before me. But just focusing on each single person doesn't illuminate what this class truly leaves behind. This is a class that is unified and has the power to unify others, as it did me. Thus, I am led to see this day as a manifestation of the compromise that I was forced to make during my freshman year. Driven by these once sophomores, this year's graduating class has found a niche in being both communal and unique. Today, we celebrate the individual, but we do not disregard their contribution to the community. Thank you.
the senior class speakers, Hannah Drew, Sophia Wong.
Surprise! There's two of us. This is Hannah Drew, and I'm Sophia Wing. We've decided to co-write and deliver this senior speech together. We've embedded our individual styles into the writing you are about to hear and decided to have some fun with it. So here we go. Our class is so janky.
Now, for those who do not know, Urban Dictionary defines janky as oddly put together, but oftentimes performs well and exceeds expectations. Sitting before you are my best friends and people who have been closer than family. They are future farmers, DJs, cowboys, engineers, diplomats, economists, and much more that I'm sure I do not know right now.
But we got swag.
Now, swag means that we are incredibly awesome. But more important than anything I can speculate about the future, I know that they are all people of substantial character.
We are original.
Each person is wholly themselves. From waking up early to play Dungeons and Dragons to being passionate about regenerative agriculture, everyone is different and happily so.
And we work well together.
I have never found a group of people so determined and optimistic. Our class is full of strong personalities who know how to take initiative and achieve whatever they set their mind to.
We got that drive.
We are all very motivated. I have complete faith that this class can achieve anything. And I say this with complete confidence because, to a person, they are all honest, kind, intelligent, and funny.
I don't know, we're doing this graduating thing.
I imagine that some of us have been looking forward to this day since freshman year, and some of us are regretting that we're sitting here today. There is both apprehension about the future and excitement for the opportunities that lie ahead.
But don't worry, it's all good.
We are very prepared, and we have Midland to thank for that.
Sometimes I look around and think, it's not so shiny here.
Even though Midland is dusty and hot, it has taught us to live with one another and hold true responsibilities to those around us. Those days that we don't want to chop wood or do dish house, just frequently, are the ones that matter the most.
But you know, that's Midland.
That's how it's supposed to be. Those days exemplify exactly what Midland is trying to teach us. Everyone learns to think beyond themselves, and we learn to love each other's quirks. There's an honorable simplicity in knowing how to work for something beyond ourselves in an immediate and personal way.
We don't just see the dirt, we feel the dirt.
We have all become very tolerant. Earwigs live with us, they fall out of our doors, they bathe in the shower with us, and my clothes are shades lighter because of all of the dust.
But in the end, it's all worth it.
Some of my best memories are beating those same dusty rugs or complaining about the spiders that keep falling out of my towel. And if you stroll through campus at around 6 p.m., light shines through the trees and the dust I once complained about turns gold. These imperfect experiences are the ones that we remember the best. A few weeks ago, in preparation for the senior gift, I had to collect rocks in a wheelbarrow with a friend. And as we walked back to our project, the only wheel fell off. Turns out a wheelbarrow only has one wheel, and it is just useless if it doesn't work. But with some help and a strong kick in just the right place, we made it work for a few more feet before the wheel fell out again. These odd solutions are what make Midland so special and so memorable. It is these little funny day-to-day things that happen that make me realize how much Midland has taught me about working with what I have. But it would not be nearly as interesting without the people.
After all, we are all raw.
Not like meat. Every memory at Midland is completely genuine. When we leave here today and Midland becomes no more as we flip to a new chapter in our lives, we will know that the memories we leave with are completely raw. The fact is, nobody can keep a mask on for 6 weeks at a time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Emotions are genuine and outward, situations are candid and in the moment, and the place is simple and focused. We are raw, and so are the memories we leave with today.
We are wild.
Perhaps the greatest thing Midland does for any of us is preserve an essential wildness within each of us. Oftentimes, we don't think about just how strange of a place Midland actually is. We all lived in a place without street lamps, pavements, cell phones, or shower stalls. We chop our own wood, run our own dining hall, and manage the cows that escape in lower yard. So just the decision of choosing Midland shows how we're not afraid of the different option.
We go hard. 6:45 a.m. wake up, 7:15 sign in, breakfast job, classes from 8 to 12:05, assembly, lunch jobs, classes from 1:10 to 2:45, shower time, dinner, assembly, dinner job, status, 45 minutes of tea time, sleep, or check-in, prefectees. We go hard. We work hard, own up to responsibilities hard, show up when the job needs to get done hard, push through every day, every week, every assignment/job hard. We go hard, and there shouldn't be anything stopping us from reaching our goals and passions in life, because we go hard.
But most importantly, today we are together. We will always have Midland to return to. There is a reason it is so easy to talk to alumni. What we take from Midland stays the same, even if the people and the time or the year don't. Simply put, Midland is a wacky place full of wonderful people. And the best thing I can say today is thank you for teaching me that one of the most important things in life is learning to love the people and the place around me.
Madison, are you going first or Cruz is going first? Okay, we'll hear from the school prefects first. Cruz Avendaño Dreyfus.
Hi. I don't have it printed. I'm sorry. The router was disconnected, so I couldn't print it. Thanks, Phil. So we made it. Over the past few weeks, my mind's wastebasket has overflowed with graduation speeches. Dozens of poorly expressed gratitudes have tumbled across my computer screen, getting replaced almost immediately by the white space every writer has battled with at one point or another. I wanted to express thanks for Midland, such that everyone here nodded thoughtfully and said, "Ah, yes, I was thinking just the same." A couple of days ago, I decided I couldn't do that. Midland School has affected hundreds of people in thousands of ways, and my point of view alone cannot express just how important that is. Midland's strength lies in its community, and I can't display that alone. So I've decided to turn to the community. Parents, alums, friends, students, faculty, and people who come from somewhere in between have decided to watch the 2016 Midland graduation. For the next few minutes, I invite you all to share your thanks for a place that brings all kinds of people together, whether you grew up here or are coming here for the first time in your life. Now is the time to say a few words of gratitude. That being said, I'll start. Thank you, class of 2016, for working so hard and well on our senior gift. I'm rarely with all of you at the same time, but whenever we come together, I realize how much I love you guys. You impress and inspire me, and you make me proud. Oh my God. I look forward to sitting at that massive table behind Art Guild with all of you in a few years at our first reunion. Now, if you have something to say, raise your hand, just say it. I know it's customary to clap, but it also takes a lot of time, so please don't do that. I'll stand up here for a few minutes.
I'm grateful for this moment of just being able to see you all here and to see the gift that you are.
I'm grateful for all of the faculty who, when I clearly expressed I couldn't finish their homework, they told me I could, and turns out I actually could.
I'm grateful for all the teachers that talk to me like family and friends for supporting me through my Midland career.
I'm grateful to be here in this moment, sharing this moment with every single one of you guys.
I'm grateful just to have watched you all transform over the last 4 years. It's been absolutely incredible and a fantastic journey. Just extremely proud of all of you.
I'm grateful for all the lifelong connections that I've made here.
I said 3 and I did 4. Thanks, everyone.
First, I would like to welcome the parents, friends, family, students, and the graduating class of 2016. This day represents an important transition to a new chapter of every person in this graduating class's life, and I couldn't imagine spending this bittersweet day with anyone else. When you think of a Midland graduation ceremony, I think of everything a typical high school graduation isn't. It's interesting to compare the numerous ways the ceremony is different. From their cap and gown attire to the pomp and circumstance, regular high school graduation has a formality necessary because the bonds and caring attitude for one another in a class of 500 hardly compares to the way our class of 20 feels and treats one another. I love all of you guys. Now, that doesn't mean we can't bring some of the fun aspects of large high school graduations have to offer, and that's what I'm here to do today. Bring the large ceremony, usually for about 500 or more, to personalize it to our class, 2016 Midland School. First, let me explain this little project I've been working on for the last few weeks to surprise my classmates. Someone who has now been through the process, getting into college is not just something you can procrastinate, says the ultimate procrastinator herself. It requires hard work, earning good grades over the years, doing some form of extracurricular activity, which we all do at Midland, and the least everyday ordinary and most nerve-wracking part, sending in the application. I witnessed my class's hard work over time and the stress of college deadlines that put on normal aspects of Midland life, like having a job, prefectees, or wanting to find time to explore the property before we're gone, in addition to all of the normal schoolwork. All the hard work paid off. Regardless of their plans, every senior is excited about their next adventure. At many high schools, graduation is an opportunity to show everyone how proud you are to leap into the next experience of life and what it has to offer, wherever you may be going. Most seniors do this by donning a graduation cap exquisitely decorated to show their plans for the next year. So, I made graduation caps, and here's mine. And Annalise and Barrett have graduation caps to pass out to my class. I want to thank Alani for helping me one afternoon, and also Annalise for measuring everyone's heads. So if you if you thought that was for a stats project, it wasn't. But thanks for going along with it. I left the caps pretty simple, so you can decorate them more later, or we can sign each other's when the ceremony is over. And you can take the cylinder part off the hat and then put it on your wall or keep it or something.
So
I have more paper. Okay. There's no tassels, so we can't do the move the tassel over thing, but maybe we can throw them in the air after we're done. So next I'm going to talk about a rising tradition among high school graduations. Flash mobs. My mom has recently been bugging me about all the online videos of high school seniors breaking out in song and synchronized dance in a High School Musical-esque way. I keep telling her it won't work and that there's not enough of us. So instead, all of the seniors offer a song. My very talented friend and aspiring singer-songwriter, Sophia Wang, wrote a beautiful song called Nothing Really Ends. So seniors, if you could scooch to the middle, and soloists go down by the piano. Thanks, Sophia. That song is truly amazing. On the senior camping trip, we all stood around the campfire and practiced that song together, and I just looked around and saw how happy everyone was, and I almost started crying. It amazes me what my class can and has accomplished together. We've installed solar panels, worked on houses in the Central Valley, and most recently completed the most amazing set of benches and tables I've ever seen. Most impressive of those accomplishments was definitely the most recent senior gift of tables and benches. Grayson put hours of his free time into welding the steel supports before the rest of the class even touched the rest of the wood and lumber to make the table. When it was time for the rest of the class to work on it, many hours of many people's free time also went into working on the project. I still don't know how we managed it, but most of our class worked tirelessly from 1 to 6 on the Tuesday half holiday, the day before senior symposium. Even so, every senior symposium I attended was well polished, and it was amazing to see each student talk about what they're passionate about. Though I get excited about normal high school things like prom and graduation caps, I would not give up my experience at Midland for any of those things. Midland has given me, and I hope all of you, friendships to last a lifetime and many fun memories I won't ever forget. Congratulations, class of 2016, and all that we have accomplished. And remember, nothing really ever ends.
Thank you, Madison. Thank you. If you have your program with you, every program. If you've been to a Midland graduation recently, there's a poem there, I think. I'd like to dedicate this poem to the class of 2016 with deep thanks and gratitude. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shadows, and swim off with sure strokes, almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals, bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident, Greek and forest for wine or oil. Hopi vases with held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. The class of 2016 had a vision, maybe cast as Grayson's turtle. An intention to have fun, to lead by example, and raise the level of senior and student responsibility for the daily life of the school, to show initiative, be fair, kind, work hard, and be useful. While serving the place and serving each other, the seniors served themselves. It's been the Grahams' distinct pleasure to follow the lead of Madison and Cruz and the senior class. On behalf of the faculty and student body and all those assembled, I want to say well done and thank you. We are all grateful for the example set and the expectations met. I can't get away from this recent quote I shared in chapel from an old church in Essex, England, and it was shared with me a little bit over a year ago by former ranch manager Ben Munger, class of 1977. And Ben and I had a lot of time to talk about this quote. A vision without a task is a dream. A task without a vision is drudgery. A vision and a task is the hope of the world. Paul and Louise Squibb had a vision for a simple life school where one learned to prepare well for college while learning to get on without. Midland, an alternative to the regular thing where students develop self-reliance by learning how to distinguish between needs and wants. I imagine the Squibb's message resonated during the Depression and the lean and uncertain times of the 1930s and 40s. It's also a message for our time, and we still answer the call of the bell and show up to our work and our lives each day. Our shared vision is not a dream or drudgery. We perform our tasks, everyone is needed, useful, and no one is left behind. The effort we make does not just bring the hope and promise to another school year. Midland's vision and our students' ability and willingness to commit as a group to the process of developing personal responsibility and self-reliance is a deliberate intention and a call to action that may well be the hope of this rapidly changing world. The class of 2016 May feel like the dishes are clean and the jobs are done, but they're just warmed up. A lot of practice, and they're going to need it. They will take the power of this place with them and adapt the lessons learned. Over time, each senior will create an important vision and complete the necessary tasks to finish that job. Each knows how to be useful, to work, to live with less stuff, and to do no harm. Along the way, they'll have the opportunity to raise aspirations, inspire others, and pass on what they've learned. Each generation really is the only hope for the next. And when the going gets tough, and it will, washing lettuce on a cold morning in the garden, the smell of pancake breakfast, evening check-ins, weed whacking, splitting wood, lighting a shower fire, college applications, college acceptances, college rejections, senior thesis, cleaning a bathroom, mopping a floor, black widows, snakes, games on the field, tarantulas, coyotes singing, full moon streetlights, washing a window, hiking and camping, All Saints Day, Grass Mountain Day, March Madness, the faux prom, Saturday night cookouts, Sunday dress, chapel, green hillsides, scorched fields, the smell of rain. Be grateful for family, friends, teachers, and for all you have been given. Bring Midland with you. Keep your head up. Look to the hills for strength, and always remember Grass Mountain. Richard Nelson, in his book, The Island Within, writes, "The completeness and certainty of nature makes possible an unreserved love, makes tomorrow's awakening bearable, makes the deep stains of human anguish fade away, makes the fear of judgment tolerable, makes the reality of human existence endurable. The nature of your Midland experience remains part of your inner nature. Draw from the certainty of this place, the people, and all you have learned. Take it with you and spend it freely, knowing that on this day, as always, you are, of course, right where you want to be." And I've taken tremendous liberty with the haiku, the form of the haiku. The head's haikus. Be kind, be helpful, be open, be affirming, be cruise. School prefect, junior boys prefect, attending Center College, Cruz Avendaño Dreyfus. Pancakes, initiative, fairness, dependability, loving March Madness, leading us all, school prefect and ninth grade prefect attending California Polytechnic State University, San Luis Obispo, Madison Land, Weatherford. Caught by twice by the graveyard bell? Economist, Cosby Scholar, junior girls prefect, attending California Polytechnic State University, San Luis Obispo, Lauren Desmalchi. Midlander born, home games for life, away games played in New England, attending Wellesley College, Deyanira Ascension Ibarra. Big. Big man, big laugh, big noise, big birthday boy. 9th grade boys prefect, attending Montana State University, Graham Stephen Mills. Stillman music, work, dances with her unabashed self. Sophomore girls prefect, attending University of La Verne, Saye Jasmine Salapur. A glance askance at Graham. Laughter. Inspiring artist, inspired life. 9th grade boys prefect, attending Pomona College, Grayson Ofterheide. What if? What might? What will? Laughter and care all around. Sophomore girls prefect, attending Colorado College, Sophie Jo Bull. Making sure. Wake up from soccer goals, Bronco dreams, camping trips, graveyard duty calls. We've been saying it for 4 years, it hasn't helped. Attending Fort Lewis College, Cameron Joseph Mulberry. Well perched, watching, smiling, writing, and running towards her life. 9th grade girls prefect, attending Whitman College. Whitman College, Emma Ascott Strubing. Kind, dedicated, tenacious, deep, still waters, attending Northwestern University, Jae-Hyung Choi. Loyal, helpful, Texas tall, big smile, big heart, sophomore boys prefect, attending Montana State University, Jack Wilford Brown. Texas is here. You always know when Texas is here. Running, runner, run to New York, hair in place. Sophomore boys prefect, attending Parsons, the new school, David Kashyap. Committed, determined, willing, striving, and giggling. Attending Harvard University, Hannah L. Drew. Okay, where am I? Just want to make sure. Which little. Got it. Got it. Dependable, loyal, conscientious, working, leading on the farm. Junior boys prefect, attending Kenyon College, Jack Melican. Friendly, patient, thoughtful, the soulful seeker. Junior girls prefect, traveling for a gap year, Christina Camacho Frosto. Song is song, day is done, returning and finding herself. Attending Berklee School of Music, Sophia Wang. There's none left. I just want to thank this class. I want to thank you for this glorious day. May your celebrations be safe, your travel safe, and take this place with you and spread the word. Every high school student in the country should have this opportunity, and we are privileged to be here, privileged to serve, and thank you so much. Time for pizza.